Hey, what's up guys? DiplexHeated here again. Welcome back to Men of War Assault Squad 2. So, I decided to create a fictional battle today. We've done awfully a lot of historical battles recently, and some of them haven't been pleasing to everyone. As an example, the previous battle, the Manchurian city siege, everyone was kind of bummed out that the Japanese lost, and some thought it was cheating and whatnot. Guys, there's something called historical battles, and an historical outcome shouldn't be tampered with unless you're trying to create something fictional. The Russians, there's no way they could have lost against the Japanese during the invasion in 1945. The Japanese had no chance against the Russians. Obviously, they put up a great fight, and the Russians lost hundreds taking that city, but bloody hell, they would have taken that city if they wanted to, and they did. So there's no cheating, there's just historical accuracy that some of you guys can't deal with. But for those of you who can't, I've done you guys a little specialty today. We're doing the US invasion of Japan, Operation Downfall. It obviously never happened. It was projected to last for 2 years, and it would involve like 40 million men, 6 million Allied troops, 4 million Japanese soldiers, and over 30 million Japanese civilian conscripts. Obviously, absolutely crazy. It didn't happen because the Japanese surrendered on August 15, the nukes, and blah, 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 all that bullshit. But today, the US have invaded. And if the Japanese can survive the US invasion, I'll let it be so, because guess what? It's not an historical battle. I'm here to prove to you today that we're doing a big old battle with plenty of troops on both sides. Doesn't have to be fair exactly, but it is kind of fair, because why? It's not an historical battle. I don't have to play on historical numbers, and whoever wins, trust me, I'm not playing favorites. I'm simply allowing whatever happens to happen, because why? It's not an historical battle. Let's try and enjoy it, and hopefully it'll quench the thirst for some Japanese victories out there. I'm not guaranteeing a Japanese victory today. I'm not guaranteeing a US victory either, for that matter. I'm just guaranteeing a cool battle without a mixed and tampered result, so to speak. So I'll see you guys in just a second. We're just about to kick it off. Alright guys, I didn't mean to sound annoyed. I don't think I was just speaking quite quickly there. We're going to be in charge of the US attack today, mainly because the attackers, if there isn't much scripting done, which I haven't done to just keep things as random as possible, the attackers need a little bit of an initiative to kind of get to the battle. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to be doing any direct controlling or using any of the US tanks or assets to target any Japanese targets specifically. It will only be issued move orders from me just to get the battle started, so to speak. So we didn't really go through the Japanese defenses today, but this is near Kagoshima. The US have invaded. They have successfully landed, obviously with support of overwhelming air superiority and naval power. We've got one trench here with an interesting Japanese heavy tank, lots of infantry. And then on both flanks we have similar positions, obviously a little bit different. We've got more tanks over on this side. Plenty of infantry, mortar support, machine guns, you name it. Cool things. Similar thing on this side. Heavier tank back here. A 20mm gun, or it could be 25mm, I'm not sure. More machine guns and light tanks. Some infantry in the middle, and then at the back here we have sort of a gun battery. These guns are super cool. Hopefully that'll be cool. More anti-aircraft guns, and I have a specialty guest today. So we're going to click start. We're going to take command of the US, but we're not going to give them an upper hand in commanding. We're just going to make sure that they get to the fight. I haven't done any scripts today. Well, I've done a few. Look. Well, not really scripts that affect the battle itself. Just scripts that look pretty. Oop, don't run into each other, mates. There we go. Cool. Some US infantry has arrived. This is roughly 30, 60, 90, about 100 guys or so. We've got more people on the tanks back here. They're going to be attacking the front. That wasn't a fart. That was my... You hear that? It's my elbow moving against the table. On the left side, we have Marines, because Marines were present in the invasion as well. Plenty of infantry divisions too. They've got some interesting tanks. Some that I just wanted to show and use. They look really cool. All right. And then on the right side, we have more US Army, and we're using some really late war tanks here and stuff and equipment and whatnot, because I thought that'd be really cool. Looking awesome. And these tanks, I've never seen them before. I know that they were a prototype tank, but they look cool. So I thought if we're going to do a fictional battle, then we might as well use some fictional tanks. And talking about fictional tanks, or at least prototype tanks that never saw the battle, look at this bastard back here. This is some serious shit. Look at this. It's a bloody... I don't know, it's a land fortress of some sort. It's a Japanese tank. and it's moving in. It's got like a 150 mil gun at the top, or at least 120 mil, and it's got like a bunch of 50 mils on the side, machine guns here and there, 4 machine guns, 2 smaller main guns, and 1 huge main gun, I guess, 2 secondary guns, and it's going to be rolling up to just participate in the fight. I think this will be really cool. If you guys want to see more fictional battles like this one, which was a plausible battle, this is by all means a plausible battle, it didn't really happen, but if you want to see more of it, where the result does not have to be historical, simple fact, if you do want to see more battles that you know, like if I do a D-Day battle, obviously you know that the US will win. If I do a battle of Peleliu, you know that the US will win. And if I did the battle of a Manchurian city that the Russians invaded, obviously most of you people out there who perhaps aren't too horny about, I don't know, Japan in general, I wasn't going to say anything insulting there, then you would have known that the Russians would have won. Come on, they could have swarmed that city with way more men and whatnot, infantry and tanks, than they actually did. So don't get too stuck up on when a country that you really like loses or wins. It's just a game, and for all it matters to you, it's an historical battle. That might not mean much to you, but it means a lot to me to sit here and create them. Sometimes I really strive hard to create a historical result, and that isn't obviously welcome with everyone. But if I do a fictional battle like this one, I'm open to any result. God, couldn't care less if the Japanese or the US win. I have absolutely no favorite faction. Of course, if there was the Swedes in this game and this mod with their interesting tanks and whatnot, and we got into some tank production during World War II. We actually had a national tank engineering school. We actually bought a lot of designs from different nations and whatnot, and like made our own tanks and this and that, during the war. But we obviously didn't use them because we didn't participate as much as we perhaps could have if we were forced to. But anyway, then perhaps I would have played a little favoritism, but I don't think it would have gone far. I mean, if the Russians invaded Sweden or something like that, or Germany for that matter, could we have really, really turned the tide? Probably not. Most likely not at all. So that would have been just complete bias. Let's see. Okay. All right. Well, my orders are pretty simple. Kind of get the Marines close to the fight, and then sort of initiate something. Once again, not doing any attack orders here, just doing simple move orders to get the battle started kind of deal. So we're going to attack the Marines are going to go first. 2 like light or medium tanks here on the side, 1 definitely a medium tank in the middle, and mortars and machine guns, and I think they're starting to pick up on us. Yep, the battle is on. We're going to look at this first. Marines moving in. Track damaged on the Stewart down here. That's really cool. Holy shit. This Japanese position is right now taking a lot of fire. Gonna be moving up some of these water buffaloes just to provide support. Did you see the animation for the gunner? What is he doing? Oh lord. That looks funny. Okay, we've got plenty of Marines and stuff coming in now. They're getting kind of close to the trenches. This is looking to be a pretty interesting fight. 2 machine guns in here, though, cutting down most of the US Marines who get in that range. Some of these tanks have really interesting positions, like this one here. It kind of just slid in between, covered from the sides. Really cool, actually. A lot of Marines getting pretty close now, but these tanks are putting up some fierce resistance. Most of the positions have been cleared out. There goes that AA gun. But they're definitely in need of more tank support. How's it looking on these? It can be moved forward, so I will do so, but the other tanks have been pretty much knocked out. We'll see if this water buffalo can make the difference with its main gun. The Japanese tank is steering it in. And it's shot down. Over here, that tank is trying to shoot it from the side, but it wasn't very successful in doing so. Everyone here is still waiting by. The attack on this side is still, by all means, going on. We've got Marines with bazookas and whatnot here, so they can definitely change the tide. They just need to get closer to the actual fight. But we'll let them continue fighting there. We're going to look on this side, where we've got some interesting participants. We've got the right trench to attack, so I'm going to go ahead and send out my men. Let's see here. We want to attack it from here, and we want to attack it from the high ground. Come down over the hill like this. Hopefully that isn't blocked off. Like the map hasn't blocked that off, hopefully. But we'll have to find out. Probably the hard way. But if it is, we'll have to just have the AI go elsewhere. Okay, good. They've been sent out. Now let's provide some armor support. We'll send both around this flank, to be honest. One right up here. And then we'll send another one up here. Can we cross this river? I bet we can. Seems very likely. So we'll do that. And these guys are moving out. They're getting in position. These are not Marines. These are Army men. Could be, I don't know, 88th Infantry Division. 87th, 92nd, whatever. They had plenty of those high-numbered ones back there in the Pacific that were used. Probably because they weren't as committed to the attack on the war in the West. Not in the West, but on the Western Front. And in Normandy, in France, of course. See, they've kind of cleared out the trench, these Marines have. But this this tank is still active, and there's more battling going on back there. Now this attack has initiated. Infantry up in the forest are attacking the Japanese from the high ground. That's really cool, actually. Yeah, they're all moving up from the high ground now. I think we even had some troops down here. Some of them are sitting by for now, but they'll be added into the fight as soon as they can. Look at that. These jumbos are coming in now. And they're just right now cutting down the lighter tanks positioned by the trenches. The Japanese aren't fortunate enough to really make a difference here right now. But there's the heavier tank back there that'll probably definitely prove to be a little problem or troublesome to the Shermans. I'm going to go ahead and enable the HUD for a quick second here and enable the free move so that these tanks can get into the fight as they will and as they please. Infantry's being cut down up here, though. Mortars and infantry in the trenches are really slaughtering pretty much every single American they could see up here. I don't see many active fighters up here. Perhaps they could have retreated. Yeah, many of them have pulled back. But there was a good 30 or so, a whole platoon that attacked, and I'm not sure what's left of that platoon right now. Some are running around back here. We have a couple that have retreated so far as back here, and we don't want that, so we'll be sure to send them up just to get into the fight. Both of the jumbos now have started attacking the Japanese positions. The soldiers in the trenches have got bazookas, like AT infantry, and plenty of AT grenades. So I presume the tanks just have to get close enough. This guy here has a bazooka, but he hasn't used it. He's being pinned as soon as he sticks his head up. He's aiming, but he's not firing. I think it's time. How's it looking on this side? Marines in the trench. But the tanks are still active. They're shooting down. A lot of Marines who haven't been fortunate enough to get so close. I think it's time we initiate the main assault. Let's take one platoon at a time. We've got one platoon here. We've got one platoon here. And we've got one platoon here. Okay, cool. Let's do it this way. We'll send... Here's one platoon. First platoon. Let's move up. Let's disembark the more veteran infantry, like rangers. They're way faster, better at fighting. There we go. Look at this attack. These experimental tanks, I'm super excited to see. Like prototypes. They've got like, I don't know what that is, but that's like twin 50s at the front. They have a smaller main gun next to the big main gun as well. These were called Baldwins, I think. Oh, this tank just took a hit. I think it was just killed. I think the Japanese heavier tank just took it out. No, it probably just killed a crewman inside. Oh, Jesus Christ, that Japanese tank knocked it out. That's for sure. Okay, I'm gonna, of course... Oh my god, we're being slaughtered here. Free move, get out of the killing zone. Get closer to the enemy. Infantry's moving up. Is that tracks taken out? I'm not sure, but that Japanese tank right there is a real killer. No idea what it is, but it's it literally decimated the first wave of attack here. That's quite discouraging, to be honest. Well, these tanks have made it up here. I think this one's combat active right now. I'd like to see this one in action more. Yeah, it's zeroing in on the jumbo back there. Look at it. And then there's another Japanese tank right here that probably took out the other jumbo. These guys are getting into the fight now. I think it's time we disembark these troops too, and that we allow the tanks to progress freely and move up towards the enemy. I think everyone inside these trucks have jumped out now, so the main assault is definitely on their way. I think it's very vital that these three tanks kind of survive, or that they manage to take down the Japanese tank in the middle, because otherwise the prototype tank further back is going to have no trouble securing the victory for the Japanese, and that's going to be quite troublesome for the Americans. Both of these tanks are down now. I think this one was killed by the medium tank back there. There we go, return fire now. Finally, took a while, but it is quite well hidden. It's really protected in some sort of trench back there, and the US assault is just having trouble getting there. Vehicles detracked, vehicles decrewed, you name it, everything. But the infantry is making progress, definitely. Plenty of AT infantry in here as well, so they're not going to have a trouble taking that tank out. But continuing closer to the artillery line back there without any tank support from the US is going to be just extremely difficult. I have no idea what to say, really. Oh, the Bazooka's being fired. Tank's still active. There we go. It's out. It's not going to be hurting any more US tanks, but it's done enough. Oh, look at the amount of grenades. Oh, and they got it. I think the US infantry here, though, can probably win now. I mean, this one's active. They just jumped out, though. One guy jumped out. Why? Oh, look. The Marines have actually secured and killed both of the tanks over here as well. So, infantry for the win right now. This left side is completely cleared out. The right one isn't, because the infantry, look at that, almost every single soldier in the trenches are still active. Have we got any retreaters, so to speak? I'm going to look at the minimap quickly. No US infantry has pulled back, but the US infantry on this side are now going to continue attack these two positions here. But I wonder if they're going to be able to, like, punch through this line of tanks and machine guns. There we go, that's a bazooka fired, and that lighter tank down is just now down. The tank crew was quickly killed as well. So we have Rangers moving up here, I believe. They look pretty hardcore. Some bad company soldiers, you know what I mean? And then just a swarm of infantry right now. Really no Japanese tanks that are in their way. They were quickly eliminated by the jumbos earlier on. But the infantry and mortars, that's going to be problematic. And then, of course, the medium tank back here. Could be a heavy tank. I'm pretty sure it's a medium tank. Despite its size, so to speak. It's still firing away at the US infantry. How's it looking on this side? Some Marines have actually started making their way down here. And this heavier tank now is firing away. Look at that. Must scare the Marines to see that, because that is something that looks impenetrable. It looks indestructible. I wonder how thick the armor is. It's got to be some mouse quality stuff on that thing. Oh, another US tank is active. I think it might have been repaired. I think the turret is still definitely functional. Yeah, it just moved. It fired too early. Oh, Jesus Christ. Look at that main gun. Hit it in the back and it took it out instantly. And the battery back here just started firing as well. Look at that explosion. That tank is down. That's a valiant try, but the prototype tank definitely stopped it in its tracks. US infantry starting to move up closer now. This is one of the cooler battles I've done, I feel, because it's like, with it being unhistorical, there's no pretense for who has to win or not. I don't have to worry about creating an historical result. I don't have to cheat, as some people refer to, when I spawn in way many more soldiers than I perhaps would have had to. But that's all for the good sake of history, reaching an historical result. But look at that. Okay, the assault is plenty of men alive, and they're getting closer. And I think this medium tank back here is going to live a short life if the infantry gets too close. They're going to start clearing out the trenches, and then they're going to make a bigger move. I'm going to look at the minimap quickly. Yeah, well, there's blue all over this area. We have some back here who aren't currently involved in the fight. I intend to make sure that they are involved in the fight, because every soldier should be fighting here today. Just bring those guys in, and then I can rest assured that everyone's doing their part. Look at that. Grenades being thrown. That one went way different than I thought it was going to be thrown. Tank back here is just, wow, putting these people into the air. Holy shit. Trenches are being cleared out, though. And if these guys can get close enough, they'll be throwing AT grenades at the tank, and that'll be a short life for that medium tank, even though it's got a thick armor and a big gun. Swarmed by infantry, and it's not going to live for long at all. But right now, it's got them all pinned back here. Do we have any bazookas? There's a few back here. There's some infantry here, Japanese infantry in the village. I think that guy's just in cover right now. Have all the Marines been killed here? Yeah, they seem to have been. We got a Japanese soldier over here. We got one guy running around here with a bar. Browning. How's it looking with the U.S. troops? Are they all move at will? They are. There we go. They'll take their time. We'll allow them to. There's no rush. U.S. infantry starting to swarm this tank now. There we go. Bit of a suicide attack, but grenade perhaps went off earlier than they thought it would. That tank is down. It's extra bazooka shot, and it's definitely down. I'd say there's a good 2-3 platoons, probably around 50-60 men remaining. That's definitely around 2 platoons that have left to fight and attack the remaining trench. But without tank support, this is like a suicide. How are they going to get through this prototype tank? I mean, if they would have taken down this Japanese tank a lot earlier than losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 U.S. tanks charging that medium tank, then things would have been different. But they're not. Christ, they're not. That was crazy. Now these guys are firing for full effect, trying to take down the remaining U.S. attackers here. They need to swarm it. I wonder if even an AT grenade will be enough. They're trying to get close, though. Oh, the battery back here is opening up. And the main gun was just fired. Took down a tree. But the infantry's charging everywhere right now. Look at that. Those are the smaller ones. That wasn't even the main gun. Well, that's uninspiring. There goes the main gun. Holy shit. This prototype tank is putting a dent in the attempt here of the U.S. attack. This is quite crazy, to be honest. Wow, the double guns back here. Sound like an automatic gun somehow. I don't know. Trenches are starting to get attacked now. The US are barely touching the trenches back here with some of their infantry. It's just a few men wounded and exhausted without any tank support that are trying to get to the trench back here to make a difference. Some are crawling up. It's a chaotic scene, to be honest. And they're not going to get past the tank. We're going to look again at the minimap, and I think we can both conclude that the 24 U.S. soldiers that remain on the field that you can see in the blue dots here throughout the map by the trenches and whatnot are not going to be able to take this on. They're going to have to try another day. In fact, I think is once the U.S. can conclude that their invasion has been unsuccessful down here in Kagoshima to be exact, that they will probably just nuke them and force an unconditional surrender like that. Or not unconditional, but they'll force a surrender as they did realistically. But in this scenario, they went through with the attack that they did not. I mean, how would it have worked if you bombed, as they did, realistically, nuked or atom bombed the two places? How would that have worked with in terms of U.S. presence on the ground, like with radiation and whatnot? I'm just curious. That would have been a possibility, so to speak. But this tank is putting a stop, and the guns back here too. They're not allowing anything to come through. I'm sorry, U.S. It was a brilliant attack. It was a fun one. It was a really cool one. I think you lost too many tanks up here, though, to be honest, to this Japanese tank in the middle. Your infantry did great. Your infantry took out more tanks than your real tanks did take out, so to speak. But without support, you're not going to be able to touch this trench, and I'm going to have to crown the Japanese the winners. They managed to defend this successfully. Obviously, what happens next, that can be into your imagination. Will the U.S. atom bomb Japan instead? Probably. But we had a cool invasion and plenty of casualties on both sides. U.S. casualties in yellow, and look at the people on the hill just slaughtered a whole platoon down. And everything back here too. Absolutely crazy. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys soon again. Look at this thing. Yeah, whatever he said. Bye.